Now, I don't know about you, but I believe that being able to adapt to all kinds of students, especially the tricky ones, is what separates the good from the truly excellent teachers. And that is perhaps even more important here on Twenix, since we're meeting so many new students on an hourly basis. Luckily, it's a skill we all can learn with a little bit of knowledge, a dash of passion, and a generous amount of perseverance. Today I'm trying to help you with the first one. By the way, hi there, my name is Kevin and I've been a teacher here since December 2021, and I've given over 6,600 lessons so far while maintaining a score rating of 4.9 on average. It's a pleasure to be here. To start, let me explain how I've organized this video. We're going to talk about 7 different categories of students who can be found here on Twenix. Oftentimes these categories even overlap, but to avoid repeating the same things over and over again, I'm going to talk about them individually. And then you combine these tips to whatever flavor of student you got. I also know it can be very challenging to strike the perfect balance between keeping our uniqueness and becoming what our students need us to be when adapting to them. But I firmly believe that developing different teaching personas is a must in every teacher's career. It's like having Batman's utility belt. You always have the right tool for the right task. It's a shame we also can't have Batman's bank account, but what are you gonna do? But I digress. Let's get to it. Number 1. Low-level students. Enunciate, simplify your language, and above all, have a big smile on your face. If these things are not enough, then you're truly dealing with a low-level student. So here are 2 additional tips that usually save the day. First, write everything down in the chat. Questions, answers, examples, everything. I especially like to rephrase and write full sentences with their translations. Many students don't have much listening practice, but they can understand when reading. You can also encourage them to read those sentences and change the words a little bit. And if things are really bad, then you can try the second tip, which is modulating the questions and the answers. Say I want to ask my students what they would change in their homes if they could. I will start by writing down the question in the chat and answer it myself. I would like to change my kitchen because I think it's too small. And then I would ask, and you? If they still cannot come up with anything, then I would write in the chat, I would like to change because and then this usually helps them understand the assignment and at least answer a few things. And finally, speaking in their native languages obviously won't hurt, but make sure you're still encouraging them to speak English as much as possible. Number 2. Advanced students. Take the candid approach. What I mean by that is that you can be honest and serious about the lesson. You can tell them what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you expect from them. You don't need to try and look more eloquent than necessary, or be afraid of correcting when they make a mistake, or worse yet, lie when you can't remember a word or don't know an expression. As long as you're open about things and don't treat them like babies, you'll be fine. Of course, it is a good idea to try using intriguing wording and expressions, but be careful not to overdo it and start speaking like a weirdo, like, I don't know, a politician. I, for one, love playing the devil's advocate, and I even announce that I'm doing so. That way I can more freely rebut and challenge my students in their opinions and instigate a thought-provoking conversation. Obviously, I don't go overboard and challenge their core beliefs. That would be unwise. And one more thing, advanced students hate when you keep to the questions. They want to have a conversation, not to be interviewed. So knowing when to step in with your own view of things and asking questions that derive from their experiences is crucial to keep their interest. Now let's talk about number 3, shy or insecure students. Of course, we're always very encouraging to all of our students, but when they're shy, we have to kick it up a notch. No matter how small, congratulate them on their wins and bravery, and pick your battles when correcting their mistakes. Also, it's very common for them to be completely fixated on their accents, so don't pay much attention to it unless they grossly mispronounce a word. And if they keep on asking if what they're saying is correct, is okay, a little too often, then tell them that they can finish their thoughts and trust you to correct them whenever necessary. Is that okay, guys? Alright, let's move on. Number 4, silent students. Sometimes students just won't talk. They just answer yes, no, I don't know, and the lesson is over in 5 minutes. No, guys, please don't accept that. When you notice this pattern, you have to press on. Ask all of the follow-up questions. Why, how, tell me more, everything. If necessary, plainly say that you're not satisfied with their answer and tell them to elaborate. And if they insist with, I don't know, then you insist yourself, giving a short example of what you're expecting them to answer. One more thing, guys, and this is genius. Stay quiet, too. Just wait a few more seconds when they're supposedly finished talking, and usually they will continue. You might add a mumble like, or nod your head like I'm doing right now, and just wait for the magic to happen. You have no idea how well this trick works. Give it a try. Number 5, distracted or busy students. I know that there are things that are considered offensive almost universally, and doing other things and not paying attention while someone is talking to you is perhaps one of them. But we must not take things personally, you guys. No, if your students are really struggling keeping their concentration, what we can do is ask your students if they need some time to sort things out. Just please watch your tone of voice, don't be sarcastic, don't be contentious. Because remember, guys, many of our students take their lessons during their work shift. They have deadlines, quotas, KPIs to meet, maybe their job is on the line, maybe there are fires to put out, but they still have to do their lessons and they didn't have enough time to cancel it. So always give your students the benefit of the doubt. Number 6, very late students. It's super common for students to be 1 to 4 minutes late. I would even worry about it. However, more than that, then there are some considerations we must take. To get things rolling as quickly as possible, what we can do is keep our introductions a little bit shorter and avoid recapping the previous corrections. Also, during the conversation, try not to get stuck too long on the same answer and the same question, and it might even be better not to ask too many follow-up questions. Now, it goes without saying that much of the same things I've said about busy students also apply here. So please don't take it personally when your students don't apologize for being late. In the end, even if it's sad, it's their time and they can prioritize it however they need or want. And some people are just chronically late. No biggie. Now, because I'm a great guy, I've actually saved the best for last. Number 7. Apathetic students. Whew. Once in a blue moon, you get one of these. And to add insult to injury, they are also usually silent, distracted, and late. In other words, the whole 9 yards. Do not despair. With a bit of love and lots of empathy, we can actually turn the tables around and have them involved in the conversation. I have lost count how many times I've had students start in a bad place only to finish glad that they actually took their lesson. Here's what you can do. Try to personalize your questions to their experiences and show interest in who they are and what's going on in their lives. If the students show signs they don't really want to talk about the topic of the lesson, then try not to go into it too soon and give them a little more time to warm up. We can never know what really is going on in our students' lives. They might be going through some really tough times and are just not in the mood for talking. But they still have to take their lessons. They're trying to be responsible. So take it easy on them, guys. Empathy rather than judgment should be our to-go response in these cases. And if it's truly a lost battle, then do your best to get them talking and don't let it get to you. Okay, it's time for some final considerations. The more responsibility we can take, the more agency we'll have to change things around. It is definitely very tempting to just throw things in the air and say, well, there was nothing I could have done. But that is not true. There's always something we can do. If things aren't going our way, then learn from it, grow, and keep on keeping on. Know that you're becoming a better teacher and a better person, one lesson at a time. And if you want to continue improving, make sure to watch the previous video about how to improve your evaluations. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube jazz. You know the drill. That's all for now, folks. Godspeed. Kevin, over and out.